You have probably heard of the great city of Timbuktu, which was one of Africa's greatest cities deep in the vast Saharan desert. The city is well known for its rich resources, such as gold, ivory and salt, but it is also in this same place where one of the world's oldest learning institutions was established, the University of Sankore. This university is strongly linked to the Sankore Mosque, which was built in 988 AD and quickly grew to become an important center for Islamic learning, especially under the rule of the richest man who ever lived, Mansa Musa, and had the ability to effectively house over 25,000 students. By the start of the 14th century CE, the Sankore Mosque had become a well-established learning institution, with standards of being named a university in today's modern world. The institution had a vast collection of books. The world-renowned legendary manuscripts, which form the greatest treasure of Timbuktu, and are estimated to have been between 400,000 and 700,000 manuscripts, which were the largest in Africa since the Egyptian library that was located in Alexandria. Before their discovery, there had been a notion being circulated that Africans were uncivilized and didn't have any written history, which had come to be accepted as the truth. But this narrative has been proven to be false through this and other ancient scripts located elsewhere in the continent, like the Ethiopian Bible, which is the oldest in the world and is nearly 800 years older than the King James Version. These manuscripts from Timbuktu mainly date back from the 14th to the 16th centuries when the city was a significant center for trade and knowledge and cover every aspect of human endeavor and indicate that West Africans had attained a high level of civilization during the Middle Ages and offer irrefutable proof of a powerful African literary tradition. These ancient collections were written by local scientists, historians and philosophers in various styles of Arabic script and local languages like Songhai and Tamashek. They touched on topics that included art, medicine, philosophy, math, and astronomy, as well as copies of the Quran. Astronomers in the region studied the celestial bodies and their relation to seasons, then storing the information in form of charts, geometry, and precise diagrams based on complex mathematical calculations. Physicians worked on the healing abilities of the herbs and other trees found in the city and elsewhere, thus developing great discoveries in the medical world. Other documentations found in these manuscripts included fortune-telling, black magic, and necromancy, where people are thought to have summoned the dead in an attempt to discover hidden knowledge, among others. By the end of the 16th century, Timbuktu's decline started after the invasion by the Moroccan kingdom in 1591, where they seized the city's valuable items, like gold, among other resources, and killed some scholars in the fight. The remaining scholars were enslaved, including Ahmed Baba, who was a prominent author and had written more than 1,600 books and manuscripts, as the invaders looted Timbuktu's precious archives. The city's decline was further hastened by the rise of the transatlantic trade, which deserted and undermined Timbuktu's role as a trade center, thus losing its power and prestige. In around the year 1826, a jihadist state called the Massina Empire captured the city and controlled it until around 1865, when another jihadist group called Tukulur Empire seized the city until the 1890s, when the French forces conquered them. During these captures, both the jihadist groups destroyed a lot of the manuscripts, specifically the non-religious ones, as they considered them sinful. During the Scramble of Africa, Timbuktu became part of the French territory, and during that period, the French army seized a lot of the manuscripts and burned others, resulting in many families hiding them in unreachable areas such as underground, where some were destroyed by harsh climatic conditions. With the adoption of the new French language, the traditional language of Timbuktu was abandoned. People could no longer comprehend the texts written in the manuscripts, thus they could not be translated, which in turn led to a decline in their appreciation. Today, most of these manuscripts remain unstudied and are still falling under serious threats, with the latest being in 2012, when Islamic extremists took control of a number of cities in Mali and destroyed a lot of these irreplaceable records. Despite the attack, a Malian librarian known as Abdul Qadir Hidaire and his team managed to rescue over 350,000 manuscripts. Hidaire, who also worked at the Ahmed Baba Institute, which is a center that was created to preserve the manuscripts and housed around 20,000 of them before the 2012 unrest, hid them far away in Bamako, a city in southern Mali. Protecting the manuscripts has not been an easy task, as Mohammed Toure, who is Hidaire's nephew, almost lost his life when he came face to face with the extremists while trying to evacuate the manuscripts to a safer place. The jihadists accused him of theft, which is a very serious crime under the Sharia, But Haidara acted fast by amassing imams and other neighborhood leaders who came forward with documents and proved Toure's role as a librarian custodian, which led to his release. Many efforts have been done ever since to digitize these priceless documents, with the most notable being in 2014 when Abdul Qadir Haidara contacted Google, who in turn partnered with him and the people of Mali to digitize tens of thousands of these ancient manuscripts. Since most of the manuscripts were written several centuries ago, they are in very fragile states, and by digitally preserving them, their existence will be ensured and a large number of people in the world will have access to them, especially international researchers who will have an opportunity to study them.